What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. In the last episode, we got the sacred water for the water dragon, and as a result, she opened up the way leading to the next temple, where hopefully we can find the first of the 3 sacred flames. So, without further ado, let's make our way inside. Now, you might be wondering, how exactly are we going to do that considering the bridge is out? Well, it's quite simple. All we have to do is swim close enough and do our special spin maneuver, and that will throw us right up here in front of the entrance to the temple. So let's waste no more time and go inside. Okay, so this is essentially the water temple of Skyward Sword. Now, don't freak out, that's not a bad thing. This temple is actually quite enjoyable. Like I keep saying, Skyward Sword has amazing temple design. But this is the Ancient Cistern, and I think you guys are gonna like this temple a lot. I know I do, so even though it is water-based, it still is enjoyable to play through. Alright, so first things first, what we want to do is go and read the stone slab off to the right of this door because it's super important, so let's check it out. Carved into the great statue are inscriptions of gratitude. They reveal the secret order of this temple. First the back, then the rear, and then the back of the right hand, and finally the back of the left hand. So that really might not make a whole lot of sense until you realize that this entire structure in the middle of this temple is actually the statue that stone slab was referring to. So if we head to the back of this statue, we're gonna find some weird inscriptions that are going to reveal a code. So right over here is the first inscription. Obviously the blue pointing upwards is like the first part of this code. Now, I already do know the entire code, but I will go ahead and show off all the inscriptions, that way you guys know where they are, and you can figure it out for yourselves. Down here is the second inscription, so that is pointing downwards. So the code goes up, down, left, right. The 2 remaining pieces of the code are on the hands of the statue, which are underwater. We passed one of them as we were making our way to those other 2 inscriptions. Now to see them, what you want to do is go up to these silver rupees, but before you collect them, make sure you spin because, yeah, the hand will try and grab you as you go after those silver rupees, and if you don't spin, it will grab you and do a heart of damage. Also, on the back of the hands are the other 2 inscriptions, so that was actually right, which means that was the left hand, not the right hand. It's actually the statue's left hand, not your right hand when you walk into the temple. So yeah, that can be a little bit confusing. Make sure if you want to do it in the correct order, you go according to the statue's hands and not the positions that you see as you sort of walk into the temple. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. But anyways, yeah, this symbol is of course going to be the left symbol. So again, the correct order is up, down, left, right. I know I messed up activating the hands in the correct order, but it still doesn't really matter which way that you notice the symbols. As long as you read that stone slab, you'll pretty much understand the correct order. So up, down, left, right. Now that we got that, we are good to go. Getting that code is pretty much the first step to making any real progress in this temple. Now this room is pretty open and there's a ton of areas that we can go and explore, but really if we want to make progress, we just got to make our way through this particular door. Now I want you guys to pay attention to what's going to happen as soon as I jump off this balcony. So you'll notice that we land on top of that lily pad and it flips over. Now when it flips over, it lands spiky side up. Now if you jump on it spiky side up, it does not flip over, you will just get hurt. And flipping over those lily pads will be something that's sort of a reoccurrence in this temple. So just keep in mind that, yeah, if you jump on them from a high distance, you can flip them over. Anyways, in this room we got ourselves our first combination lock, so let's check out this stone slab. Strike the gemstones pointing in 4 directions wisely. The way will only open for one who knows the temple's secret order. Alright, so this is our first test, guys. Hopefully you've been paying attention, but let's ace this thing up, down, left, and right. So yes, if you hit that in the correct order, the door will unlock. No small key required. We actually are trying to get a small key. Now obviously the only locked door that we've seen thus far is the one in the main hub room of this temple. So our goal right now is to track down a small key and bring it back there. We do need to deal with this Skulltula, so let's take out our beetle and very simply cut his web. That'll cause him to fall into the water and just kind of drown. You know, it makes you feel kind of bad, but at the same time, he would have just bothered us, so I'm not really going to lose any sleep over it. Alright, so come up here. We can actually do a backflip from the middle of this platform, and that'll cause that lily pad to flip over and allow us access to this 20 rupees. It's entirely optional, but hey, it's 20 rupees, so why the heck wouldn't I do that? Now, we pretty much want to do the same thing, but from the top of this platform, and on a lily pad towards the left. That will get us another 20 rupees, but it will also allow us access to go deeper into the temple, so that's pretty cool. Honestly, you do get a lot of rupees just from, like, exploring around this temple. There were the 2 silver rupees, like, way back in the first room. Then we got some 20 rupees in this room. Those 3 rupees that we just picked up. So, yeah, it's a good thing that I actually did get, that wallet upgrade, like, before we left Skyloft, because I was thinking to myself, you know, there's no way I'll get over 1,600 rupees, you know, before, like, finishing the next temple, and well, look at us now. We're pretty much almost there, so I'm really glad that I picked that up. Anyways, though, so, yeah, we basically did all that to go back to a room that we've already been in, but now we're up a little bit higher where this chest is located. So I'll give you guys 3 guesses as to what's inside this chest. You better make them quick because guess what? Inside the chest is, yep, the small key that we need. So now that we got that, we just gotta make our way back to the hub room, which is pretty easy. We can actually use this water geyser to push us up to this upper platform, and it'll basically take us back to the original entrance of this room, so that's pretty cool. Those water geysers, you'll see them a lot, like, later on in the temple, so just keep in mind that, yeah, you can use them to reach various different areas. Now that we're back inside the main hub room, I guess you could say, let's go and unlock that center door that we saw, like, right when we entered the temple. Now, believe it or not, that is going to take us to the mini-boss of the temple. Yeah, already, but, we're not really halfway done just yet. So the mini-boss is pretty early on in this temple, and it can be a tricky one, just to say the least. But yeah, check it out. This room goes way up there, all the way to the tippity top, and believe it or not, that's where the boss door is, so, Master, I've taken the liberty to confirm that a door is located at the uppermost section of this statue. The lock is unfamiliar to me. Alright, well, thank you for that information. So, real quick, let's grab our bombs, because we can't go up, so the only other option is to go down below! And this is where we're fighting the mini-boss. So this guy might look kind of familiar. You might be thinking to yourself, hey, that looks like the mini-boss from Skyview Temple, and you're kinda right. This is a stall master. He's a lot harder, and you know what, guys? I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I'm just gonna fight this guy like a wuss because I really cannot think of a better way to fight him. So, same thing in Phase 1 as like the stall folks that we fought in Skyview Temple. Just avoid his attacks and try and attack him, you know, when his guard is down. So, like, when he's guarding certain directions, go, like, the direction that he's not guarding. That's pretty much how you deal damage to him in this first phase. In his first phase, he's really not too hard. Like, he's very similar to the stall folks that we fought inside of, you know, Skyview Temple. But it's in Phase 2 where he gets a lot harder. And now we're gonna see Phase 2. Yeah, he gets 2 more arms and 2 more weapons, and he only gives you like one little tiny opening that we can actually kill him with. But he does have a weakness, just like with the other Stalfos. If we place a bomb near him, he will blow up, and his arms will fall down. So use that to your advantage. If you can actually lure him into the explosion of a bomb, you can get some free damage on him, and I highly recommend that you do this, especially in Phase 2, because it is ridiculously hard to land hits in Phase 2, at least that I've noticed. I know I definitely struggle with it, so that was actually not smart at all. But hey, we still got a hit, so I would say that was worth it. Oh my gosh, I'm dealing more damage to myself than like he's actually dealing to me right now. That is not good. What's funny is, honestly, taking damage from the bombs is still taking less damage than you would take if sort of he hits you. Like, I believe in Phase 2, if he hits you even once, he will do 2 hearts of damage. And here's the thing. We have our shield, and you might be thinking, oh, you could shield bash him, right? Like, that would make this fight a lot easier. Well, you probably could if I wasn't using the Sacred Shield. The Sacred Shield does not have a lot of durability, so if I even mess up one singular shield bash, I'm pretty sure he will destroy my shield entirely. So, yeah, I'm kind of going to avoid using my shield in this battle at all costs because I do not want to lose it. And gosh dang it, man, I need to stop blowing myself up. It's kind of annoying, and we only have like 2 bombs left, so hopefully we can make this work. Come on, dude, just get in that blast radius. Really? That hit me? Come on, man. Oh, man. Alright, we got a hit there, so hopefully this last bomb will do it. Come on, please be lucky and land a hit with this bomb. That's all I really need. Yes, there we go, we did it! We blew him up with the last bomb. Thank goodness. And that is how you fight this guy like a complete wuss. I don't care. That fight's hard if you do it normally. If you use the bomb trick, sure, it takes a little bit longer, but, the fight goes a lot smoother, and I totally took more damage from, like, bomb blasts than actually fighting the boss itself, but still, I'm totally okay with that. Anyways, check it out. Here's a chest, so this is the item from this temple, and it's a good one. It is, guess what? The whip. So you could compare this to the whip from The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, but I really compare this more to the grappling hook from The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. It seems to share more functionality with that item than the actual whip from Spirit Tracks. So, one cool thing we can do with the whip is latch onto these weird looking switches and pull them to sort of activate them, and they'll do various different things. This one just happens to cause a water geyser that'll bring us back up to the sort of middle level, I guess you could say, of this giant internal structure. But this just brings us back to where we started, so that's kind of silly. We can go up a little bit further, though, if we just keep activating these switches. We can actually go all the way to the top of this structure, but there's really no point of going all the way up there right now because the only thing that's up there is the boss door. In fact, there's really no point of even coming up here because this door is just going to take us all the way back out to, you know, the main hub room. Only difference is, you know, now we're slightly higher up, but that really doesn't give us any advantage because we're just gonna jump down anyway. So yeah, there's kind of no point to going all the way up there right now. Really, that's just for like later on after you get the boss key and stuff like that. But now that we're back here in the main hub room and we do have the item for this temple, let's go back to the right side of this room, and we're going to bypass this door and just keep running forward. Like, we could have gone up here before, but it's basically useless until you get the item from this temple, because now we can target these weird like posts and latch onto them with our whip and swing across them all Indiana Jones style. Now I will say this, the whip, it feels a little bit differently than just swinging with a normal rope. Like, it does do the same stuff, but it just feels slightly off, and I can't really put it into words. Anyways though, this chest contains something very important. Check it out, it's the dungeon map. So here's the thing, this temple, it doesn't seem very big. Like, judging from the map, you might think, oh, it's a pretty small temple, but it's a little bit more than meets the eye, I'd like to think. So although it looks like there's not a whole lot left to do in this temple, trust me, there is, so don't you worry. Anyways though, we need to go and activate this switch over here on the right side of this temple. So let's flip over this lily pad using our whip, and now we can reach this switch. Problem is, we can't just like climb that pillar, but guess what? Our whip can certainly latch onto it, and we can pull it from safely on that lily pad and deactivate that waterfall, which will unblock the fish's mouth down below the water, and that's where the next section of the temple takes place. So pretty cool, honestly. Like I said, this is not bad in terms of like a water temple. It's pretty fun, and I love the whip. This temple makes really great use of it, so it is an enjoyable temple. Alright, so now that Skulltula is gone, before we do anything else, let's go to the back end of this fish, because guess what? There's a chest over here. This one's not too important, just contains a red rupee, but still, I mean, hey, that's 20 more rupees, so why in the heck not, am I right? But now you're probably wondering, how do we get out of this room? There's a gate in front of us. Well, the switch to unlock this gate is right over there, and guess what? Our whip can actually reach it through the holes in this gate. Yeah, that's using your noggin. I won't say this is something exclusive to Skyward Sword, because it's not. Like, other Zelda games have had you activate switches from, like, the other side of a gate, or, you know, the room or something like that. But, I'd say that Skyward Sword does it more often than other Zelda games, because thinking back, I can really only think of, like, 2 rooms that did a puzzle similar to that in Ocarina of Time, and, like, that was it. And both those rooms were pretty late in the game. They did it once, and, you know, a puzzle like that never showed up again, whereas in Skyward Sword, you know, we did it inside the previous temple. We blew, like, the sand away from the time shift stone, then hit it with our slingshot. And, then in this temple, of course, we just activated that switch using our whip from, like, the other side. So, it's not, like, new to Skyward Sword, but I think Skyward Sword does it better and more frequently than, like, the previous Zelda games. Anyways, if we jump down here, we can actually get whatever that guy just dropped. 5 rupees, I'll take that. But more importantly, if we're lucky and the game decides to glitch out, it might actually let us target that, switch up there. Although, doesn't look like we're gonna get lucky this time. You need to stand in, like, a very specific spot, and then it sort of works, but, yeah, we are not getting the option to target. So I guess we'll just go and do it the way I think the game intends you to do it. So what you want to do is, whip onto this grapple post, and while you're swinging, you can sort of control your direction, like, very slightly. So let's aim towards the switch, and please grab that. Yeah, there we go. Nice job, Link. Good thing you get sort of, like, magnetized to that switch. Now, before we go and swing across, let's actually take out our slingshot and take care of this little fella, just so he doesn't bother us while we're climbing the vines. Like, I know we could just shake him off if he does latch onto us, but I don't know, man. I've always just liked getting rid of them completely and then climbing the vines without having to worry about them whatsoever. And oh, okay, I actually thought for a second that I was not going to make that. Like I said, it's weird when you use the whip, because the perspective is sort of a little bit different, and 9 times out of 10 I always feel like I'm not going to make my jumps, even though I'm perfectly safe in doing so. Now that we're up here, though, and those enemies are gone, let's activate this switch, because guess what? It's going to basically cause a cyclone in the middle of this room. Like, I don't really know how else to explain it, but that will lead us into another section of this temple. So, Geronimo! Looks like we're getting flushed away. I really couldn't think of, like, a better joke or a better pun, but, that's essentially what's happening. Like, even the music sort of insinuates that, yeah, you just got flushed down a sewer, man. But this is exactly where we want to be, so it's not a big deal. Anyways, I think this is actually a good place to end off this video, so if you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.